Hi folks, Pat Healy here for the Laker News. We're in Fall River where the federal government is going to announce an investment into the LWF Community Hall.
Welcome everybody here. Daryl is the Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Rural Economic Development and Minister responsible for the Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency. Most importantly, he is our Member of Parliament for Sackville, Preston, Chesapeake, and he is here also today on behalf of the Honourable Sean Fraser, who is one of our neighbouring MPs and also a good friend and supporter. Sean is the Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities. I've known Daryl for a long time. We've been friends for a long time. We have a wonderful working relationship, as I'm sure Daryl has throughout his area here. He's always open, he's always available. We always are free to go in and sit on his office and watch him while he's working the telephones, getting funding for projects like this. Daryl, I've told you before, the scope, the size, the building and the history of this place. This community hall has often been called the lifeblood of our many rural suburban communities in this area. Thank you so much. This is a grant for the next 60, 80 years. It just covers everything. And I'd also like to say thank you to Brad, is Brad here, and MRS Construction. We just had a quick walkthrough. It's come, yeah, Darrell Samson.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, very much appreciated comments, and it is true that I'm always very happy when I'm close to this community center. It represents a community, and as you said, I've always said it's the anchor. It's actually an anchor that holds the community together so that the people can enjoy it in many different ways. And this investment, I'm looking, I didn't walk through completely, and I know the contractors are here. I just hope there's enough money to put it back together because it looks like a major renovation project, which I'm pretty proud of. I do want to acknowledge, of course, Kathy, who's here, of course, our municipal councillor, which is an extremely important individual because we work closely. All levels of government has to work together. It doesn't matter if you voted for me or not, I'm still your representative, and I'll do my utmost to support our communities. And the second thing I said when I got to Ottawa was to the Prime Minister. I said that there's lots of money that's being sent over and landing at the airport, and you're loading up trucks. And in the past, they've been going right to Halifax, and some stopped off in Dartmouth, but didn't hit any of the outskirts. I just want to be on notice that when you drive to Halifax, or 5 ridings on this end, you have to drive through Sackville, Preston, Chesapeake. Now, you got an option. You can either stop and give us some money on your way, or we're going to do a roadblock. We're taking the money and the trucks. Your call. So quickly, I think we got the message out that the outskirts and the rural communities need support, and that's why I was really happy the Prime Minister appointed me Parliamentary Secretary for Rural Economic Development, because we need to do more. And I know Savage says, my good friend Savage will say often, and Kathy heard him, a strong municipality or a strong city makes a strong province. And I don't disagree with his words. All I say is strong rural communities across Nova Scotia also make Halifax and Nova Scotia great. I want to also salute my friend Kirk, who's always here, doing a great job cooking, and Steve Sennett, who's been the president of my riding for a number of years as well. And I want to thank all of you for being here. It's really important that we share in some of this important news. As you indicated, on behalf of the Government of Canada and my good friend Sean Fraser, who is infrastructure and communities and housing, which is crucial. And a lot of it lends itself because housing is a very important factor in some of the challenges right now. But if we're going to draw people to our communities, we got to have some infrastructure in place that will support those communities. And this type of project, as I've said earlier, this is an anchor for a community. People want to come here, people come here. We needed to upgrade it, we need to last a lot longer, and this is one way. You said 60, 80, 100 years. That's why we wanted to make such an important investment to support this community, which has You know, when I look at Lakeside and Fall River and Waverly Junction, it's a very tight-knit community. I'm very proud to have and continue to work closely with this community. The riding is changing. I don't know if you heard for next election, but you're staying in. Like it or not, I'm still here, and hopefully we'll continue to contribute. This investment from the federal government is a little over, I think, $384,000 from the federal government, which is a major investment. I guess in conclusion, it's to say that this, again, I don't know where else you're getting the money, but if you can get all that done for $384,000, it's extremely important. But these are the type of investments we need to make.
There are just a couple other thank yous. Darrell noted our counselor, Kathy Dagley is here today. Kathy, thank you as well for all of your support and all the things you do everywhere. Steve Sinnott is our secretary. Nick Yeomans and Paul Adalaka wrote this grant application. They have spent countless hours. The amount of work, the amount of time, the ongoing amount of time to get this all approved, to get it done. And yes, Darrell, it's $384,000 from you and your government, and it's close to $100,000 of money that through the volunteer work here we have raised over the years, whether it's Kirk and the Lions Club and the Known Everywhere Wing Night, or whether it's all the events and the bar and all that stuff. It is a community aspect and a community project in every way, shape, or form.
Thank you very much, Darrell. This is an incredible opportunity for us. I'm really glad to see everybody out here. It's an exciting event for me to be at personally, because I haven't seen anything of this scale in a community center before. This is a 60-year-old building. It's been run by volunteers, built by volunteers, operated by volunteers, maintained by volunteers for 60 years. This is the first opportunity we've had to go from the basement to the roof and renovate everything to make it just more efficient, bigger space. I mean, the impacts are incredible. We got 50% more space for social events, for community events. Our power bills are going to go down by 80 to 90%. It's going to be fully accessible on both floors to a major part of the population here. So it's been a real pleasure seeing this happen. And being able to work with this board, it's not me, it's an amazing group that's now on this board that gets things done. You did make a reference to the overall project here. It's a $500,000 project. Almost 400,000 coming from the feds. There's about 100,000 coming from the hall because of all the events here, and from the LWF Ratepayers Association. So wanted to give a shout out to the ratepayers. Thank you for that. Targeting our grand opening for August 15th, Wing Night, the night before the Calouse Dance.
The Green Infrastructure Fund, the Community Fund, is an inclusive fund, is exactly for that, is to make some of the key buildings, the anchors in communities, make sure that they're viable, that they're efficient, that they were taking care of the climate as well. Climate change is a very important piece. So doing what needs to be done to ensure that sustainability of communities. And more people will be visiting now that you have more space, and take advantage of that. And that's a key factor, I believe, for this community.
Wow! $384,000 from the federal government towards renovations here at the LWF Hall. Thank you to the LWF Hall for sponsoring this video story. Pat Healy for the Laker News in Fall River.